Lovely to see you all again. This is a 10-year-long journey we've been on since my guides first told me to make that very first YouTube video. And why did they tell me that they wanted me to make videos? Because they were showing me dreams of me standing in front of an audience and talking. I was like, hell no, I'm not doing that. I don't want to do that. I'm completely an introvert and I'm not very comfortable with standing in front of the world. I have learned over the years to promote myself and to just not care what people's opinions of me are, because it's nothing to do with what I have to do. I have to just pass on information from the Lyrans or the Andromedans or whatever you want to call them, higher beings, angelic divine beings. That was what I was told. Our purpose is to listen and share with each other. So I did that. So what have I shared with you? First point, humans are ascending. We are raising our frequency as carbon-based, solid, if you want to call it that, beings to crystalline beings. What is a crystalline being? Well, from what I'm told, a crystalline being is one that resonates at a much higher frequency, that it's crystalline in nature, so it's basically if you're going to be made of tiny little quartz crystals. Let's talk about it like that. Now, quartz crystals are very important in healing and in any kind of spiritual work, because they're even used in watches, and they keep time. Okay, crystals keep time. They take memory. The structure of a crystal is such that if it forms a lattice of little squares, let's say it all joins together, there's always spare ones in the middle, and when you charge it up, that's the ones that vibrate and resonate and will charge an energy, and you can use crystals for healing and stuff. And so we are going to become basically walking quartz crystals. With this ability, I've been told, will be able to teleport, will biolocate. Our psychic skills will be through the roof. We'll be able to be telekinetic with each other. As in, I could pass you a cup just with telekinesis. I can, basically push you over with telekinesis if I was so disposed. I actually have done that. I'm not proud of it. This is what humanity will be able to do. Now, this is why my guides say that only those who are in an unconditional loving state, who don't have vengeance, who don't have wrath, who wouldn't want retaliation, will make it. It's not like someone's got a list of names and say, oh no, you're not going to make it. I'm sorry, you did that last Tuesday, you're a bad thought. It's not that. It's vibrational frequency. Imagine if people, all people could do this. It would be living in like a Marvel movie with, the goodies and the baddies. It would just be a bit crazy, right? But it's not like someone decides whether you should or should not be able to do this. It's your frequency has to be high enough that you will... This is going to sound really bad. And I haven't said this before now. And I hope I'm wrong. But the way it's put to me is the solar flash will either transform you or destroy you. Now, I don't want to say that to alarm anyone, because being destroyed, you won't have a clue about it. You won't even know, right? It'll just be this massive energy influx and you will be somewhere else. Because obviously people can't die, right? As in the physical body can, but your consciousness can't die. Energy will transmute into a new form. And you possibly won't even, you may go straight into a world where I have a parcel. Sorry, I had a parcel arrive. It's my new art supplies. Let's go back to what I was saying now before I answer the door. Yeah, transmuting energy. So, the flash is let's just say it's a magnificent high frequency that will emit throughout the solar system. It's caused by a galactic wave that came from the centre of the galaxy, and I was told many years ago there was one last revolution, and I don't know how long a revolution is when it comes to what I was observing, it was a blue star. So I'm now wondering if it was Sirius, but I don't know. I'm guessing now, this is my opinion. So that energy has been, expanding out from the centre, hitting the solar system, changing the planets, and you can see this if you go on to any of the science sites, that the planets are changing. Jupiter, one spot is shrunk and one new spot has came. There's new storms, there's collapsing of atmospheres on some of the planets. So Earth is not going through changes alone. It's just part of the collective of its little group of planets. So, but so are we. So is humans going through this, and animals. Animals will be changing too, and I've seen differences in animals, how they react. When there's high geomagnetic energy, the animals react to it. Humans can have more heart attacks. You can feel out of sorts. You can be sick because the geomagnetic energy does change your energy, and it can make you feel sick. We have hearts that have an electrical signal which gives us a geomagnetic, like a magnetic field, which is what I do, what I work with when I'm doing healings. So we have a geomagnetic field the same as the sun, same as the planet. We all interact with each other. Whether you believe it or not, you are interacting with the energy of the planet, of the solar system and such. So this energy, and if you're geosensitive, if you're aware of it, if you can feel it, you will have felt a difference in your body, a lightness, a vibration, a kind of, it's like, I can't really, how do you explain when it's something you've always known? A buzz. A buzz. I'm trying to think. When you're holding, I don't know, let's see what vibrates really, really light. I'm trying to think, like a garden thing, like a hedge trimmer. That's quite a strong vibration, right? But you feel the vibration. You feel your white and red blood cells separate, right? That feeling where it's kind of tingly. That tingliness is what I've been experiencing throughout my body since 2010. Okay? It's got stronger and it's got less, depending on, to me, it depends on where the planet is in relation to the centre. That's the only way I can describe it. Where our planet is in alignment with the centre of the Milky Way, we're in direct, eyesight, let's say, of the galactic wave. So we're not buffered by any planets, or I think that's when it's worse. So that's when your ears will scream louder and you'll feel the vibrations, and time may slip. The reason time is slipping, according to the Lyrans, is because the core of the Earth is speeding up and slowing down, speeding up and slowing down. So as it's doing this funny rotation, when it's speeding up, time will speed up, and when it's slowing down, time will appear normal again, or slow. And I can bet you that you have been feeling periods of time that just don't make sense. I've heard what I call the normies now also talking about this, that they went to put the kettle on at 12:30 and make a bit of toast, and then I'll do the ironing after this, and they finish their cup of tea and their toast, they go towards the ironing board to get it up, and they realise it's 4:30. That's 4 hours just gone, and they can't believe it's taken them 4 hours to drink a cup of tea and eat a bit of toast. Happens to me all the time. Some days I know I'm going to get nothing done because time is just moving too fast. And it doesn't make any logical sense because I've only just watched one YouTube video for an hour long while doing the dishes, and it's already time to collect my daughter. I'm like, doesn't make any sense, right? But who are we? I'm not a rocket scientist. I don't understand these things. I just pass on what I'm told. So, and other days you find you've got loads done. And it's not our perception of time, because I trained to be a primary school teacher and I taught time. And one of the things that you do to teach children time is that you have a stopwatch. You put on for a minute, and so the children can understand how long a minute is. They can get a perception of the length of a minute. And part of that teaching was also about perception. If you're watching the clock, it will appear to be slow. But if you're busy, the time goes faster because you're not keeping a tab on the seconds ticking by. So our perception does alter time. I'm very aware of this. But it's hard to imagine that it would take somebody 4 hours just to drink a cup of tea. It would be cold, they would notice. So there is something very strange going on with time. Okay, so these are all things I was told that were going to take place in my lifetime, okay? And I always got told in my 40s. Now I'm going to be 47 this year, so I'm nearly jumping out of my 40s. So I'm basing it on what I've been told. Aside of the energy transformation, so humans will be ascending, you'll be more conscious, you'll just know shit, you know, excuse my language, but you'll just know stuff. You'll wake. The way spiritual development works, or has always worked, is the same way a child develops. They don't steadily become more conscious. You'll notice if you're a parent, your child will take leaps. So they'll just, be 2 weeks and they'll just develop a new thing. It'll seemingly come overnight, they'll wake up just with new things. And so they have jumps of awareness. In spirituality, you also have jumps of awareness. You don't get better little bit by little bit by little bit, it'll be eased. Let's say you'll wake up one day and just get it. You will have, and I used to be able to tell. They used to be kind of yearly apart, let's say my teens, and then through my 20s, they were like, 6 monthly, and then by the time my 30s, they were coming monthly, and in my 40s, they were coming weekly, and now it seems like I'm nearing the end, they're coming daily, or there's nothing, and then I feel like I'm getting downloads from cosmic rays, sometimes hourly. And I know you'll be feeling this as well, okay? You might just not have put a name to what's happening, but that's what my guides hope to do, is to help you put a name or a reason for how you're feeling. And why you're feeling this. This could be some big mystical nonsense that I'm telling you, okay? In which case, it's been fun having the journey. It's been exciting. And then nothing's going to happen, and we all just go meet our maker, okay? But still, my job is, in case this happens, I am told to warn you, prepare you, and educate you on it from the best of my knowledge that comes from them. And I'm always aware I could be listening to a negative force. Always. I do all the protection work, I make sure I'm in a good state, I ask for the, all the good angels and stuff, and I'm even careful about that in case that's all a big lie. So I use my language carefully when I'm connecting, that I am not deceived, there's no lies, it's all in the highest good for the highest number of people, blah, blah, blah. So, the coming changes are not just about physical for us, it's also physical for planet Earth. Planet Earth is going through changes. There will be a crustal displacement, allegedly, which will cause some waters in places to rise and others to sink. New bits of land will be found. Now, I'll tell you how I've seen it. And the way they show me dreams, these things in dreams, is that I'm hovering above a piece of land and I'm just watching the tide come in and come in and come in. It's not like a tsunami. It's just like the sea just keeps coming in and in and in. So people will have to keep displacing and moving. I did have a dream once. I went to bed and woke up with 5 feet of water outside. 5 feet is not terrible, right? You've probably heard me say this a lot of times. It's manageable, right? It's annoying. Your house will be damp, wet, you can't live in it, which is why I moved to a house that was way high above sea level. But it's not something to fear. And I've always been told that. There's no fear. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. You'll not believe how brilliant it's going to be. And I trust in that. Okay, it's much better to think positively than to be negatively thinking, because let's face it, worry is just praying for what you don't want. So, I'm always the optimist. Hey, if I die and nothing happens, fine. I lived optimistically. I was waiting for something great happening. I lived happily, So, it doesn't matter to me if I was wrong, as long as I lived a happy life, right? And I made other people's life happy as a consequence of that. So, your ears will be picking up frequencies from this galactic energy and the core of the earth. A lot of the time it's coming from the core of the earth, it's coming from the magnetic field shifting and changing. Earth is going through so many changes that we are picking up on it, and you'll feel periods of being uneasy, nervous for no reason. It's shifting energy in your body. Your energy field you do have a primal energy field like the animals. For example, herds of elephants will go higher into the mountains because they sense a tsunami coming. They will be ahead of time. They will be out of there because they are in harmony with their environment. So are we. Just quite often we're too busy looking at our phones or thinking, our minds are chatter. We're not in a state of calm to even receive. We're receiving it, but we're not listening to it. So we do have that primal feeling of, oh, I don't have a good feeling about this. Something untoward's happening. I don't feel it's going to directly impact me, but I feel something. And then you hear something's happened, yet land has risen, or something's flooded, or we are picking up on these things. The end result of this, what I've been shown, okay, get your big girl pants on, Claire, just say it. What I've been shown is that we will be living somewhere else, a different planet. How I've seen it is the sun looks smaller and further away. Like I've seen myself on a beach sitting and the sun's really far away. It's small, it's not like ours. If sun sets, so it should be bigger. It was tiny. So I know I'm on a different planet. The planet feels bigger. I know that. It just feels bigger, the horizon's bigger. We're really busy. We're all working really hard to build this new community. I've got a Jeep that seems to hover. It's the same height as a car, but it doesn't seem to have wheels. And I'm going here and I'm going there and I'm going here and I'm going there. And I'm helping set up communities. I'm seeing who's going to be doing this, who's going to be doing that. There's no money. Everyone's really happy. Everyone feels really relaxed, but there's a lot less people. Now, I don't want to say this to alarm anyone, because I don't want to cause worry that people you are now friends with or your family will cease to exist in your reality. Because you will develop a sense of understanding that you have to be without fear in order to be in a world like this. Okay, now, I just put one of the videos I made 9 years ago up to remind you of what I was being told back then, that this seems to be happening strongly now. And I always said I was going through it back then in order to know what's happening, so I can say, oh yeah, that's normal. Oh yeah, that's normal. This is going to happen next. Just the job I chose, right? Not a very exciting one, but you know, everyone's got to do their jobs, okay? So here we are now at this place where things appear to be changing. The one thing, I'm going to forget loads of things I want to say to you, but the one thing I've noticed is, don't laugh here, right? But see when you do your hand like that, you wave your hand back and forward, right? Like this. It's like, it feels like I'm underwater. You know, I'm definitely underwater. It feels like when you're in a swimming pool and you're at the top of the water and you're moving your hands in the water, like to do like, you know, just to feel the water, whatever. I feel the same pressure on my hands with the air now than when I am in a swimming pool. That's something new. I'm getting vibrations in my face and my neck. It's usually just my feet up to my legs. Now it's going all the way up. There's something really important I wanted to say to you. It'll come back to me. I don't want to make this super long though. That annoys me when I make them long. I wish I could just be the kind of person that gets to the point quick, you know. But the whole thing of this is really, this has been a 10-year journey. Okay, now, when is this going to happen? It could be any day. But I'm always told, watch the sun. I just saw movement behind me there, so they're trying to get my attention. It could be in a year. It could be in a couple of years. I don't think the time really matters, as long as you are right in yourself, as long as you are right with the world. If you want to continue on to this new world, right, this new awareness, then do the work. If you don't really care for that, which is absolutely fine, you probably won't know you've met your demise, okay? You will just wake up in a different body somewhere else and probably have a false memory planted and have no memory of this and be happy with what you're doing. You probably won't really notice a transition. You'll have a whole new life and a whole new... Maybe I'm making this all fluffy and lovely, I don't know, but from what I've been told, you know, by somebody called Emmanuel, who I don't know whom, I didn't know back then Emmanuel was actually the real name of Yeshua. I don't like saying Jesus because if you look at the Hebrew Bible, this is a conspiracy theorist, right? But the 600th letter is Che, the 60th letter is Z, and this 6th letter is Z, so it's Jesus, right? So I'm very wary of saying that in case I'm actually calling on, you know, the negatives, okay? So I just wetted my whistle. I know some people hate hearing people drinking on videos. It doesn't bother me. I've worked on all my triggers. So if you want to take this next step in evolution, which may or may not happen, okay, the way to get there, my guides were not letting me share prophetic dreams I was having back in the day. They were just not letting me say no. You know, cameras would turn off and I'd be warned and I'd get blue flashes, because they said I was getting a lot of attention from negatives and I was watched and they could see what I was saying, and I would just be stopped. I would be discredited, and that did happen to an extent. I won't go into that now, but I did. And then of course I met a partner who completely stopped me working. I don't want to talk bad of him, but he was very... Anyway, I'm at court in August for domestic abuse. Not for me doing it, for him. And he just struggled. But they told me that he was coming to my life. And the group that told me, I believed were Anunnaki, and I believed they were good. And now, no, I don't really believe that. I think they were... This is a whole other story, right? And it's really messed up. And you'll just be going, yeah, sure, Claire. It was... I dreamt about him for years before I met him. Years. I could see him when he was younger, like I was visiting him as a child. I knew him really well. Felt like we were twin flames and stuff. And then we met, madly in love, and he's got a lot of issues and wanted me to spend all my time playing computer games and not working on my journey or making videos or teaching or doing my healing or doing my tarot readings. It wasn't his fault. He just needed that. And when he would go into fight a lot, fear a lot, and he would react, you know, and smash things and stuff, and it just became too much. So that's why I didn't make videos for a long time, because I could not. I was not in the right place. I was living in a state of abject terror for the last 6 years. So anyway, I digress. If you want to make this next step, then just start to understand why people do things and not judge what they're doing. Be at peace with yourself. That's the most important thing. If you're at peace with yourself, if you can look yourself in the mirror and say, do you know what? I make mistakes, yeah, but I'm learning and that's okay. And I'm not going to repeat it, and I've learnt from it, and I'm humbly sorry about what I did, and I will not repeat it because of that feeling. I just leveled up because I did something that I'm ashamed of, and it's leveled me up because now I know not to do it again. You are constantly becoming more and more wise by your mistakes. So look yourself in the mirror and say, do you know what? I'm okay with who I am. I'm doing the very best I can. And that's all you have to do, okay? It's not like you're passing a test. You're just correcting your frequency. You're just settling your energies down, being calm, being at peace, being in harmony with your environment, being okay with people being shits, okay? People are shits. I always teach my kids this. A happy person will never be a dickhead. Sorry, I'm using terrible language today, but a happy person will never be a twat, okay? If someone's truly happy, they will never treat somebody else badly. So I taught them very young that when someone is being mean to you or to others, ask what's wrong with them. Maybe not directly, but, you know, try and see if you can help that person, because they're clearly not happy and at peace. So no judgment. You know, if somebody was to hit me, whatever, you know, even in cases like that, I still think, what can I do to help you? You're clearly feeling absolute fear and terror. You're reacting animalistically. There's nothing actually going on. How can I comfort you? How can I stop the situation? You have to fight that with the fight or flight in yourself. But that's our job. And I think I learnt that I had to learn that by being personally in that situation and feeling absolute terror at your next moments of survival and getting through it and saying, do you know what, it's okay. That didn't happen, and I'm still going to care for that person and love them. Perhaps now from a distance, just in case. But these are lessons we have to learn, and not, please, if these have happened to you, you know, don't think I'm getting at you if you still feel that you're victimising stuff, because I'm not doing that. This is my journey I'm talking about. And I'm in that place where I refuse to see myself as a victim, because it's a learning curve. I see the person as a victim. They're a victim of themselves. They're a victim of their circumstance. They're a victim of, you know, their things not going right for them through their life, right? And I just feel heart sorry for them, okay? And I wish I could help more, but I don't know how to. So with that, I don't want to end this on a terrible note, but it's really important that you really hear this information and that you know to let go all those traumas, to let go all those issues you've had that they don't really matter, they don't matter in the grand scheme of things. It's enabled you to learn and grow wise, okay? That's the best I can say in this without being offensive to anybody. I'm only sharing what I went through, so you don't think I'm being like opinionated with no backing. Never. Okay? We're all on our own journey here. We all reach places at different times, and part of the journey is getting to that place. Your own journey of getting to that place. I believe you're all doing the very best you can. So, and with that, I honour you all. You're all doing the very best you can. It's all we can do. Okay? So if we end up looking at the sky next week and the sun's turned red and there's, red fire in the sky and stuff, and, it looks like the end of the world, please do not be scared. To the best of your knowledge, do not be scared. Do what you calm yourself. Know that everything's going to be great. Claire from Higher Dimensional Mind told me it's all going to be fine. Her guides have promised her it'll be amazing. So just don't let the fear creep in. And if you start noticing weird things, in your body, weird vibrations, noises, hearing someone call your name, no one's there, don't be freaked out. It'll just be your guide saying, you're able to hear us now. We just want to say hi, that you're not alone. None of us are alone. Ever. We've all got each other, but aside from that, we're never alone. There's beings around us all the time. Oh, that might be what I was going to tell you. I've always been aware that all the Lyrans and Andromedans, they're all walking around us all the time. They may be taking notes, okay, remind Claire to do this at 3 o'clock, she'll forget. But they're always around us. And sometimes you'll get a glimpse of something, like an orb or something, where you see a part of that energy moving. And as my guide always said, you're coming to us, not us coming to you. It's not a case of spaceships will come to Earth and they'll start coming down and landing. No, that won't be them. That may be a fake one. It's not going to be them, because they're already here, in the respect that they're not on 3D Earth, but they're in higher frequencies. They're in our awareness. We're in, I don't know how best to explain this. They're around us in higher dimensions. As you raise up your dimensional frequency, you will be able to see them in that way that you're going to them. Okay, that we are going to them, because we are expanding our field of vision. There are certain frequencies we cannot see now with these human eyes, but as our DNA is being upgraded and cells are changing and we're filling more with light, and that can give the fibromyalgia feeling, by the way, as your bones are kind of separating and filling more with light, can be sore. But yeah, we're able to see in a broader spectrum, and they will come into view. They've always been there. They've always listened to us and taken care of us. They're not judgmental, so don't worry about what you've been doing. But we will be able to see them. And we'll be joining their world, because we've expanded to do so. So, well done to everyone that's been doing this. It's a hard journey. It's a really hard journey, and people will have been sent to join your life to knock you off balance, to test you even further. When you think you've reached it, they'll come and knock you off, and you'll have to build back up. That's the last thing I wanted to say. Sorry, this is going to be a mammothly stupid long video now. I do apologise. I had 2 really strong dreams, okay? Now, one of them involves a dear, dear friend of mine. And in the dream, she has some trouble, okay? But in the dream, we were in a swimming pool, a public swimming pool, and it was herself and her son, and she started accusing me of mocking her, or saying things to her, like putting her down, and just like mocking her parenting skills, and mocking her driving, and she says it's, she was really getting upset by this. And I'm standing there really just silently looking at her going, is she aware I'm not speaking? Like, I've not said a word. Where's she getting this from? I've not said any of these things. I'm not even talking. It was like I was saying it to her now, and she was answering back, and I'm going, I'm not saying anything. Why is she saying this? I'm looking at her, not in a judgmental way, just like, is she aware that I'm not talking? This is all coming from her head. Then I fell into the pool, not the swimming pool. And I was alone next, and I fell into a really, really deep pool, and I was going down and down and down and watching the surface disappear, and I got to the point where I was like three depths of a swimming pool down when the panic kicked in. And I'm looking behind me going, is there a bottom? Oh my God, is this going to stop? Because I'm going down fast. And I heard Spirit say to me, exhale to go up. And I'm like, that doesn't work. When you exhale, you sink. You're getting rid of the air, you know? And I was like, okay, I'll just trust you. So I exhaled, I watched the bubbles come in my mouth, I watched the bubbles rise up, and I started floating up with them. I took this as a financial market because I woke up with a message on Telegram from some crypto salesman at 2:22, and it reminded me of Jay Snip and I forget his name, looks like Santa Claus, the really nice guy that was with them. Oh my God, it's terrible, I forgot his name. That they always talk about the number 222 and Spirit and stuff has told them this and that. So because of that, that was like confirmation that this was to do with crypto or finances. So it showed me the financial market that it's going to crash. It's going to almighty crash. But when it seems like, oh my God, I'm starting to panic now, that's when it's going to start improving. So that was good, okay? Because the thing is, the person I'm talking about, this dream, the girl, she just wrote to me and said all this stuff to me. Accused me of criticising her parenting and her driving. I've not said a word. I've not said a word. Not about her. I've talked about myself. And I don't know if talking about myself has made her think that because I'm saying about me doing something that, like I said about, I was worried about getting my ADHD test, right? Because you have to tell DVLA and they can remove your licence. And for me, my only freedom in life is getting in my car and driving. So I was worried and I was like, but I'm a good driver. I've never even hit a curb, you know, and so maybe I shouldn't worry. And I don't know if that's what's made her think that because I said that and she's would be feeling guilty about her driving or, you know, I don't know. I'm not going to talk about that anyway. But yes, I got the text just a few days ago. So, but the next thing, I saw a couple of nights, Friday night, oh, so it must be Thursday night, because I told my mum on the Friday, because she confirmed in the Telegram group, Higher Dimensional Mind, that it was Friday I told her my dream. So Thursday night I dreamt that, what they're called, there was orange and white plane. I think it's EasyJet. So orange and white plane went past my living room window here, really low. It wasn't like scraping the rooftops, but it was close enough that I could see people's faces in the window, right? And I do live in Edinburgh, but the airport would be heading south, not heading west, okay? And it's coming really low across my house, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, I didn't feel alarmed. I'm just observing it. That's odd. It shouldn't be doing that, right? It's low. Didn't look like it was going to come crashing down. It was just flying low, which I would take as that the plane's in trouble, but it's managing, it's coping, okay? Well, Sunday there, I heard about it yesterday. There was a flight, an EasyJet flight, was forced to do an emergency landing at Edinburgh Airport because the pilot took ill. So the co-pilot, who was just really young, had to take over. So there was an EasyJet plane that was in trouble, but it was fine. It was under control. I'm like, okay, that came true really quickly. Really quick. Because the next part, this is a good thing to finish on actually, right? Because the next part was, and I'm really sorry if I'm boring you and it's long and you're desperate to turn it off now. I apologise, this will be really quick, okay? The next part was the black oval, okay, appeared in the sky. And my mum's pointing out to me, my mum's always in these end time dreams with me. Every time it's an end time dream, my mum's there, you know. Give me crisps or whatever, you know. So this oval appeared in the sky and I'm like, what is going on? So I'm going to look at this oval, you know, and next thing, Darth Vader and Princess Leia appeared in this oval, like it was a doorway and they're waving, and idiot Claire here's going, oh, hi Darth Vader, hi Princess Leia, you know. My God, I'm embarrassed even telling you, right? Waving, you know, excited. And they're waving back, you know, and then they after a minute they moved back and more people came, and then they moved back and more people came. People were, and I've analysed this now, right? Since Thursday night, thinking, what did that mean? And I'm like, do you know what? It seemed like when you go and watch a show, right? You go to a performance, a stage performance, and afterwards the characters come onto the stage, you know, and the curtains are opened just a little bit, right? You know, and the main characters come back on and say hello, and then, you know, then the whole cast comes on and says bye, whatever, you know, thanks for watching. That's what it was like. And I'm going, that was like a cast of the Star Wars movie were coming on to say, thanks for watching. It wasn't just Star Wars, so there was lots of different characters. And I'm like, do you know what? That's shown me, right? Because Darth Vader, obviously, when he was Anakin, was working for the light, turned to the dark through fear and anger, and fear turned to anger. He started off as good though, but through fear turned to the dark side, okay? And he became the, the bad guy, and Princess Leia, let's call the good girl, right? It's girl guy, you know what I mean? Person, right? And it's like they were saying it's the end of the show. The show's finished, and they were coming to take a bow. So, good and bad have played a really important part in this show. The goodies and the baddies have both been equally important in getting us to where we need to be in order to end the show, right? So it's like they're saying, no harm meant. I was playing the character of a baddie, but I'm not actually a baddie. I was playing the character in order to help you guys get to where you need to be. And the show's finished. So the fact that I dreamt of the plane on the Thursday night and it happened on the Sunday means that's quick. That's quick, right? So the end of the show to me then, I'm saying, is equally fast. I'm not saying one happens in a shorter period of time and one happens a longer, okay? So, but that was really quick between the dream and the happening. So I think it's shorter. I don't know, could that be a couple of years? Max? The end of the show. They're showing me the show's finished. The show's finished, and this is the people coming on to get applause. That's interesting. Anyway, please hit the like so that perhaps I might be able to monetize one day, because I can't, and it's hard being a single parent. I don't want to bore you with that, but please hit the like because it helps increase my videos, and I might even be able to earn 3 pence from a video. Everything helps at this time in life when we're all trying to do our own thing and follow our journeys. Okay, I don't need to preach to the choir, but I love you all very dearly. I can't wait to hear your stories, even if you share it in the Higher Dimensional Mind Telegram group where people do come there, or in the comments, whatever you're more comfortable with. But please share. It's good. We need to be finding our tribe now. Join your tribe. Love you. Have a lovely day.